Brilliant. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for today's webinar. Yeah, it's 12:30, so I think we'll get started. My name's Dave, and I work at the Oxford College of Marketing. I'll be in the background, and I can help answer any questions if you sort of want to ask those throughout the webinar. And also we'll do a Q&A at the end. Just before we start, I just want to flag that we'll be recording this just so we can send that out afterwards. Just so people are aware of that. Today's MarTech Club is hosted by Robin McMillan. The session is on 2025 MarTech and marketing trends. Are we really on? Are we really on track? Robin has been put on this earth to help organizations and individuals understand marketing data and demystify MarTech and make complicated things more accessible. So she's very qualified for this talk today. What I'll do is I'll pass over to Robin, but if you have any questions throughout, please do just type those into the chat area as well. Thanks, Robin.
Okay, so today we're going to look at those things that we spoke about at the end of last year and see if they're starting to become actually relevant. Are they truly the trends that are emerging in 2025, or are we chasing shiny golden eggs that truly aren't going to impact our marketing processes, our MarTech stack moving forward and kind of guiding our success for 2025? Has anybody seen anything unique or wonderful that's happening within marketing a lot at the moment? Please put it in the chat and let me know. And let's kind of dive into what is truly actually emerging as MarTech trends and marketing trends after a couple of months within this brand new year. Because in reality, if the trends that we prepped for and we thought were going to bring us the most kind of response or impact aren't actually where we need to be able to pivot quickly and move our changes forward so that we can actually achieve those kind of organizational goals that our marketing and our MarTech is driving to kind of create, right? So what are we going to talk about today? So we're going to look if things like the trends that we spoke about are truly on track. So we're going to break down those bold MarTech trends and marketing predictions that kind of were all over our feeds, our newsletters, and even sector-specific kind of content at the end of last year. You know, all of our platforms were asking us to download the 2025 trends for social media, email marketing, content creation, outbound generation, funnels, all those kind of stuff, and see kind of what kind of has actually come to fruition. We're going to look at what is thriving, stalling, or pivoting out of those 5 kind of main trends. And we're going to look at actionable strategies to align kind of what you need to do or where you need to focus moving forward, actually, within your marketing kind of processes and your building of your MarTech stack, right? As with all of my sessions, if you have a question, an idea, please put it in the chat and put it to everybody, not just me, so that we can all learn from our collective experience about what is going on with all different sectors and all different levels of marketing. Okay, so let's begin. So we are 2 months in to 2025. And as I kind of walked into the office today and kind of took a breath, I was like, wowzers, that's been quick. And a lot has actually happened within those 2 wonderful months, right? So the year is now 2025 and marketing technology was thriving with promise at the end of last year. But things actually aren't as forecast 2 months in, right? AI-driven personalization, customer experience were expected to lead the charge, but have they truly developed on all the hype? Or have new disruptors, new trends, new rising kind of expectations completely rewritten what we were supposed to be focusing on? And in reality, it's kind of 50-50 compared to kind of where we ended 2024. So we're going to go through those bold predictions, 5 of those bold predictions that we went through at the end of last year, what fizzled and what's kind of unexpectedly taking center stage moving into this year. So the first thing that was a really big, bold claim at the end of last year, and something that if we'd failed to do or to move with or to make space for within our marketing processes, we would fall behind, was AI enhanced personalization at scale. Now, if you've been to any of my MarTech sessions, my MarTech Club sessions before, you will know that I do agree that this trend is something that is not going to go away. And in reality, 2 months in, we're only going further and further into this new expectation and trend. So, for a bit of context behind this trend, we as marketers have sought long and hard to deliver the right message to the right person at the right time in the right way. Yeah. As marketing needs and expectations have become more and more complex, we need to create more messages, deliver to different segments of people across multiple different platforms in multiple different formats at an exponential scale. Yeah, it is only getting more and more necessary for us to create these different experiences for our audiences, because no longer does the one message for one or the one message for simple segments truly work when pushing people through a digital funnel. But true one-to-one personalization has often been limited by data fragmentation and technical complexity. Yeah, it used to take, even a couple of years ago, it used to take a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of resources to create X amounts of pieces of content to go to X amount of segments. But the prediction was that by the start of 2025, those advanced AI and machine learning tools that we gained more and more access to during last year will enable marketers to personalize messaging, personalize their product recommendations, pricing, and even website experiences for millions of users in near real time. And as we moved into 2025, this goes beyond simply inserting names into email campaigns. So instead, predictive analytics engines learn user behaviors, deliver hyper-targeted experiences across various digital touchpoints, social media, search, display ads, email, and even in-app interactions. And the impact moving into 2025 has become mainstream. Yeah, these personalized messages are something that all brands and all consumers now expect to do or to receive. And companies that are failing to invest in AI-driven personalization have seen decrease in engagement and ROI. One thing to note here, though, is that data ethics, privacy regulations, and trust will become the central challenges in this still within 2025, the rest of 2025, 2026, and beyond, right? And we want to be able to harness these capabilities responsibly. So do you think at the end of February, beginning of March 2025, we are on track for this remaining a trend that we should still pursue or still class as an emerging necessity within our marketing or MarTech stack? You can let me know. Okay, yeah. Yes, we are still on track. So this has gone further and is bigger than we expected it to be within the MarTech sector. So just some kind of numbers for you to recognize the necessity and the glory of this kind of emerging trend. If we look at, let's start with adoption rates and technology investments. Yeah, so 85% of enterprises now use AI predominantly for personalization. And by the end of Q1, so in like 1 month's time, it's estimated that 85% of mid to large enterprises are going to deploy some form of AI-driven personalization. To put that into context, that's a substantial leap from roughly 50% at the end of the end of last year. So within that short time frame, those additional enterprises, those additional organizations, brands, and kind of businesses have recognized that AI for personalization within their marketing is a key investment. So adoption rate has gone massively through the roof. Alongside that, there's been an increase in personalization budgets. So this means that on average, marketing budgets allocated to AI and machine learning within the MarTech stack have increased by 20 to 30% already this year. And when I say this year, it's only been like, what, 2 months? Yeah. And that growth is basically around things like cloud-based analytics platforms, data engineering teams, and the integration of AI APIs that power real-time interactions. So that's huge. Yeah. Those numbers show the intensity that we are trying to ensure that we are providing the seamless personalized experience for those individuals that kind of come into contact with the marketing that we create and put out into the world. I always say that the reason we do marketing has never changed. Yeah, we create something, we put it somewhere, and we ask somebody to do something to move along our journeys. But imagine being able to deliver that content in a way that is truly suited to that individual, so they feel seen, heard, and understood by your brand. Is the only way to try and cut through the digital noise that we are battling with consistently as brands moving forward. Yeah. We have nearly 70% of all companies with a MarTech stack implementing AI personalization have integrated predictive analytics, which is amazing. So these are things like predictive lead scoring, dynamic content optimization, all part of this personalization world. If we then look at just engagement and ROI metrics, so brands using AI-driven hyper-personalized recommendations from the end of 2024 to 2025, where we are now, have seen an average click-through rate of up to 40% compared to generic content. Wowzers, yeah. And some high-performing brands with now complicated but significant AI-enhanced personalization at scale, their click-through rate is now up to 65%, which is, as you know, from marketing, it's incredible, the difference, because all of a sudden we are able to deliver en masse, at scale, content that truly resonates with the people it lands with. Yeah, which is glorious. It's a wonderful change, and it is suddenly incredibly accessible for us as organizations and marketers and people who just want to be more involved and kind of getting brands' messages out there, to be able to have access to these tools to do that at scale. There's been conversion rate uplift. There's increase in revenue per user. So the key takeaways here is that there's been high adoption and high stakes. So a vast majority of enterprises now deploy AI-driven personalization. And this represents its strategic importance in a rapidly changing MarTech environment. Yeah. So I have always said this will continue to become, we'll start using terms like hyper-personalized, because we will be able to segment down so wonderfully beautiful and deliver the right content that has been AI optimized for that segment. And it will just get more and more convoluted. But the way that we talk to those miniature, those really beautiful segments, will allow us to be able to increase conversion, because we are sending them what they want, when they want it, in a way that is most relevant to them. Yeah. There's been like significant performance gains, efficiency and speed, because automation in this kind of way is not only reducing costs, but we can launch sophisticated campaigns faster than ever through AI enhanced personalization. But one thing that we do need to be mindful of as we do keep continuing to push into this trend and this necessity is that trust is key. While that ROI is truly compelling, consumer sentiment about data sharing does remain mixed. And that is one of the things that powers AI personalization at scale. So when you're kind of pushing into this, we need to make clear communication and ethical data practices are a competitive differentiator. So just to kind of visualize this, because it's all well and good, me going, yeah, go away, do this. It's wonderful. But what does it truly mean for you as an organization or you as a marketer? And if we look at a basic kind of conversion funnel, person A is different to person B and person C. So this organization very simply devolves their kind of individuals into three main categories. But realistically, there's subsections of person A, subsections of person B, and subsections of person C that need slightly tweaked content within the same vein. So making it very simple, an organization can take all of their person A segment, but segment it further into something simple, like, does this person prefer video content? Did they come from long form content? Did they come from social? And deliver the sales funnel in a way that speaks to the journey that they originally took. This allows us as marketers to get more understanding and deliver the correct type of journey that that individual needs to truly convert, not just be interested. Yeah, you don't want people to sit in an email segment for 12 weeks because they truly don't really know kind of why they're being marketed to, or they kind of wanted that backpack or that kind of service that you offer, but they haven't received the right information to move them into kind of trigger or buy, for example. And all of these can now be dealt with in tandem at minimal extra cost due to AI-driven personalization at scale. So if you said to me, are we on track with this trend? It's a thumbs up. Yeah. And it's only getting faster and bigger and more wonderful. And I am sure in a couple of months' time, we'll have to do a webinar on how to make sure we're aligning our brand values with tech use and how to balance that humanity with the kind of AI-driven kind of content creation. But in reality, if we leave this tool, this process on the table, we are leaving opportunities behind now. And this trend is really pushing forward within all of the marketing kind of MarTech world at the moment. And then the next is that we now want omni-channel journeys and seamless customer experiences. Has anyone started to create a different omni-channel kind of process due to simply how many touch points across multiple places we have at the moment? So the context for this trend and why it arose at the end of last year is that consumers increasingly expect a frictionless experience across physical, digital, and even virtual channels. Yeah, we've become quite snobby with our experiences as consumers because there are so many opportunities and so many experiences we could have with brands, right? And inconsistent or disjointed interactions lead to lost sales and diminished brand perception. So the prediction was that marketers will need to integrate the entire customer journey from awareness to post-sale support so thoroughly that customers feel they're interacting with one consistent brand rather than a patchwork of separate departments or platforms. An interesting thing, though, that also came up at the end of kind of last year, as we were kind of really trying to push back again on the COVID online fatigue, is that brick and mortar touch points, such as store events and pop-ups, will be fused with digital channels. That was the expectation. Leveraging things like geolocation data, mobile notifications, and AR experiences. Yeah. So I think this one has been coming for a while. We have siloed data as marketers for a long time. So our initial sales funnel, that gets all like looked at, our conversion within stores, that gets looked at, our response to it, but they never really come together to give us a true reflection of actually what is happening within our marketing processes. Yeah. So the impact that we kind of wanted from this trend, or where this trend came from, was more robust kind of data platforms were to be created, those beautiful CDPs, and deeper analytics integrations will become necessary. Yeah. Organizations will spend heavily, that was the prediction, on tech infrastructure to ensure they can track consumer interactions in real time and action on them instantly, regardless of the channel. Now, that sounds like a bit of a dream, right? I can remember not too many offices ago, in the wonderful corporate environments that I were and the big brands that I worked with, for us to be able to iterate quickly from an omni-channel perspective meant gathering so many reports from different platforms, people, and all those kind of things, and then trying to make sense of it, and then taking that and making assumptions and changes and iterations from that. It was less than a seamless experience, not only for the customer, but also for ourselves as marketers, because truly you didn't have a full reflection of what is actually happening with that moving forward. So are we on track with this? Do we think that we are, our customer experiences, our CX alignment is truly moving forward in 2025? And I would say this is a slower burn, but there is a big focus on CX alignment to strengthen trust and brand recognition. And creating these cohesive, purposeful experiences across channels is truly critical to build trust, reinforce brand recognition, and stand out in those noisy, crowded markets that we are all vying for attention within. So far in 2025, many organizations have made good on this philosophy. And the way that has kind of started to happen is there's been an optimization of MarTech stacks for more holistic views of customer behavior, preferences, and past interactions. And there has been a focus on zeroing in on journey orchestration and cross-channel consistency, turning once disconnected kind of touch points into fully cohesive engagement strategies. Yeah. So people that have seen boosts in this, so you'll see like H&M, Spotify, big brands like that have seen an increased boost in loyalty metrics, with integrated insights for them leading to quicker and more personalized touch points at every stage of the funnel. Because this also feeds in to our AI personalization at scale trend. We are aligning all of that wonderful data into a true overview, a true understanding of what is actually happening for our kind of clients, our customers, our communities. One interesting thing that has happened within kind of hiring within marketing and the terminology used for different marketing kind of positions within an organization in the last kind of 6 weeks, 8 weeks, is that a lot of organizations are now appointing customer experience leaders. So to truly embed this as a cross-functional priority, many competitive interests have chosen a designated leader because we want to define that customer alignment North Star and kind of connect everything across the organization to that moving forward. And companies that have established a customer alignment focus or a function are reporting tighter collaboration between marketing, products, sales, customer success, and shifting customer kind of alignment and experience from a series of ad hoc kind of touch points to a unified strategic discipline. Because realistically, gone are the days when impressions and clicks were enough. And success is no longer, we cannot measure this solely with vanity metrics anymore, like impressions or engagement rates. And the pendulum in 2025 has truly swung towards deeper outcome orientated KPIs like conversions, customer acquisition costs, and community growth. And brands that are embracing this shift and are investing in first-party data strategies, dynamic kind of customer feedback loops, and narrative-driven campaigns are leading to measurable improvements in loyalty and revenue. Yeah. And there's also been incredible disruption within our social media worlds. Yeah. So what this is actually allowing us to do is own the narrative beyond social media. And even though social media remains an important engagement channel, but with evolving regulations, the fear that a social media platform can be taken away from us overnight. So let's just look at TikTok, for example. And content moderation changes, algorithmic uncertainty, many marketing processes are turning to owned websites and domain strategies. And this is because we want a greater emphasis on owning and controlling our own narrative. Yeah. Brands increasingly kind of have swung back to relying on websites with descriptive domains and direct content strategies that offer a stable long-term asset too. And early adopters of this are seeing more predictable traffic patterns, stronger control over brand messaging, and of course, still leveraging those social platforms, but on their own terms. If we look at the B2B space here, companies in that space continue to prioritize customer education for differentiation within the omnichannel journeys, because we need to be able to stand out by describing and then delivering on a clear version of what their our customers can achieve using the products. So webinars, certification programs, interactive learning modules are still a core part of many brands' marketing strategies as part of this overall omni-channel kind of opportunity. So the most forward-thinking B2B organizations are integrating their CRMs with training platforms, harnessing customer education data to inform upsell opportunities, reduce churn, give back, and highlight feature sets that improve customer ROI. So as you can see, there's a lot going on within this world. It's just been a bit of a slightly slower burn. And I do think that is because we have pushed with the AI platforms, the kind of cloud data strategies for personalization at scale first. Whereas really this would have been great to start with, and then that could have grown the omnichannel opportunity. So if you are kind of unsure what an omnichannel customer journey is, it refers to the entire experience your customer has with your business. This is across all the different channels and all of the possible touch points, including customer support interactions, sales checkout flows, and physical store experiences. So if I term that in a way that somebody goes through an omni-channel process with you. So say you've got a potential customer browsing Facebook during their lunch break. They spot an ad for a stunning piece of clothing in their feed. They click the ad, which takes them to the store's Facebook page. Here they see product images in more detail. They find customer reviews saying how fabulous that is. They go to the store's website to place an order, but find their size is not online. They have a quick conversation with an agent through live chat. The issue is then resolved. The agent has reserved the piece of clothing in the size the customer wants for pickup in a physical store for the following day. But what you can see is there's different aspects of digital, non-digital, sales, marketing, follow-up, sales funnel, all within that overview of that journey. Yeah. Because what happens a lot is, let's, for example, say anything in this purple section, like our outreach, that was all kind of measured in one lump. But then anything in the yellow, because it wasn't part of that, or it wasn't part of those kind of platforms or systems, it was classed as a different type of process. So we lost the connectivity and the understanding overall. So if I was to say to you, do you think that this one is on track for 2025? I would say yes. This is something that is not going to go away either. And as you can see from what we kind of spoke about, it's also incredibly relevant within the B2B as well as the B2C kind of space. So yeah, fully on track. And this is a very simple omni-channel journey, but these are going to become more and more convoluted too, especially if you do add in things like AI personalization at scale, because it can give people different options, different places, depending on their preferences. So then I would say this is one of the most important ones as well. I think I've said that for each of them, but they're all very important. And this is generation, customer data, and privacy and compliance. Consumer data has powered MarTech for years. Yeah, it's what has allowed us to make decisions on many things within the marketing kind of processes as soon as we started to collect that data from those journeys within marketing. But concerns about privacy, data breaches, and misuse of personal information have increased scrutiny from both regulatory bodies and the public. Yeah. And it has gotten so much worse since we are now all able to access AI-powered platforms without the need of a developer and whack a load of data into these places and then use the outcome. Yeah. So the prediction was that by the end of 2024, pushing into 2025, we will see a much stricter global regulatory environment for data collection and usage, with multiple new frameworks and standards beyond regulations like the GDPR and CCPA. Yeah. More regions will enact laws modeled after or expanding existing data protection standards, and big tech platforms may constrain data usage, third-party tracking to align with the consumer privacy demands that we now have to understand as organizations and as marketers. So has anybody seen an increase in data kind of discussion within marketing within your roles? Is it something that you have seen? Yeah, I bet it is. So the impact here that we expected that we would have to do within 2025 is that marketers must adopt privacy-first strategies using more first-party data collected from consumers and building transparent value exchanges. So things like loyalty programs, surveys, interactive quizzes. Yeah. Zero-party data, so information that consumers willingly and proactively share, will be a critical asset. Yeah. So do we think we're on track for this? The problem is within marketing and MarTech is that marketing teams lean on a growing network of third-party tools. Yeah. So analytics, automation, e-commerce, for example. And because of that, data security and privacy compliance have become front and center. So what we need to be doing from now and forever always is protecting our brand's reputation while maintaining an agile, innovative marketing strategy. So we need to think about things like platform first compliance. So consolidating everything in one place using a data protection management system, and that streamlines version control, document creation, and audits. We need to strengthen as well our third-party risk management. So we need to leverage integrated platforms that monitor vendor compliance in real time, spotting any potential issues before they escalate. Because realistically, when you are putting data into an AI-driven kind of personalization process, that data needs to have been retrieved with consent. And what a lot of organizations are doing is they are putting old data with a bit of a dodgy history into these AI-driven platforms and potentially segmenting incorrectly, delivering marketing content to individuals that should not receive marketing content, but also within any data-driven process, if you put rubbish in, so you put poorly segmented data, bad data, incompliant data, duplicated data, incomplete data, all that kind of stuff into these processes, you're going to get rubbish out because it can only give you answers or processes or iterations or outcomes regarding the data that it has been fed. So we need to be very good at our kind of data compliance. And what we will see the rise of in 2025, and what we have already seen, is the rise of these kind of checklists, increased resources, more organizations that support you and give you ways to kind of manage your privacy and compliance within your data. Yeah. So those are 3 trends that have definitely gone the way that we expected them to go. But what has been a surprising change and what is rising quicker or unexpectedly compared to what we envisioned for 2025? And that is the rise of integrated marketing AI co-pilot platforms. Yeah. So though AI has been integrated in various marketing tools like content creation, chatbots, or analytics, you must have seen that every tool is AI powered, AI driven, all those kind of really wonderful corporate terminology. But there's been a gap in uniting them all into a single command center or co-pilot for marketers. So what we're starting to see, which we didn't kind of expect, is the push to create a comprehensive AI-driven co-pilot solutions that can support ideation, content generation, automated campaign, budgeting in one single environment. So this would kind of be like your ChatGPT, but much more powerful, right? It's a way for you to interact with one thing that can give you so much back. Like last year and into this year, the best kind of AI tools were ones that went incredibly niche because they could do that thing very well. But actually, there is more opportunity to create platforms and to utilize platforms like a co-pilot. You must have seen them for Microsoft, for Apple. So there's a push now to create ones that are sector specific. So plugging in all of these AI opportunities in one space for us moving forward. And the unification of tasks will go beyond current marketing automation tools by adding a layer of generative AI and predictive intelligence on top. So this is incredible because what this does is it allows marketers, especially those in emerging, small, niche kind of places, will gain agency-like capabilities without needing large teams, which is also incredibly intense when you say that out loud, right? Which brings additional worries for things like jobs and roles. But like I always say, AI will never replace experience and expertise. And one of the future MarTech clubs, I'll look at human AI co-working and how that is actually how we get the best out of this platform. So why is this more relevant than initially thought within any predictions last year? And it's because of the convergence of affordable computing power and cloud services, yeah? The cost of running complex machine learning models has dropped. It's cloud-based now, so we can scale much quicker on demand. So we have access, and you must have seen over the last 18 months, we have access to things that were not in our wildest dreams as marketers, like before that. It's all about that accessibility, right? That change, that ability for us to have this at our fingertips. And there's been a huge success of AI in mainstream marketing applications. So it makes sense to not group and put these kind of together in a one platform for all kind of process, almost like a CRM for your AI use. Yeah, one platform that does so many things for your organization. Because we as marketers have realized that AI can co-pilot and support us not only with repetitive tasks, but also other things like creative brainstorming and personalized messaging. But what it kind of led to at the end of last year is us logging into different platforms, having to update so many different places, all that kind of thing. But actually, what we're seeing now is a push to create these AI co-pilot kind of platforms. There's also been, this has been happening for years, but there's a exponential growth of MarTech tool overlaps. So marketers are juggling dozens of standalone tools for analytics, automation, social listening, email, design, and more. So there's always going to be a push to simplify. Yeah, we don't want to have this expenditure of logging in to so many things and kind of trying to stay ahead, keep ahead of all these kind of new platforms. So it makes sense that something's trying to move into the market, which removes that frustration. And we want to unify these disparate kind of functionalities. It's been a bugbear for years within MarTech stacks. So I'm really looking forward to these kind of things that are pushing forward. And the rise has exceeded expectations because supply chain disruptions and remote work. So marketing teams have faced unpredictable market conditions, supply chain slowdowns, and increased remote collaboration. So AI co-pilots have started to step in to unify and streamline workflows. There's a lot of competitive pressures and rapid innovation that is currently happening. And as I said, the ease of use and consumerized interfaces have made this incredibly easy for us to move forward with. And look at the wonderful list of the AI co-pilots that are kind of trying to step into the kind of different aspects of marketing to unify different aspects and things like that. I love the ones that live in here. Notion, incredibly powerful now. And the government ones are also interesting to have a look at. The slides will get put into the MarTech Slack after, but I'll talk about that at the end. So what hasn't taken center stage? What is a trend we were all super excited for that has just fizzled out and has not taken its space within the needs of our to-do list as marketers and organizations? And sadly, that's immersive experiences that we're edging into the mainstream. So what was expected to kind of happen is brands from retail to entertainment to B2B events have begun rolling out more frequent AR or VR campaigns using new wearable devices or accessible mobile technology. Some people are hosting product launches, showcases, or full-scale virtual events in augmented or virtual environments. It's just not happening the way we expected it to. And some of that are things like user friction. Many consumers are curious about AR, VR, but find the hardware too expensive, cumbersome, unnecessary, tiring. Even mobile-powered AR experiences often require up-to-date devices and stable connectivity, which limits participation massively. It still has high development costs within the marketing kind of world. Building fully realized AR, VR activations is expensive. It takes a lot of marketing resources. An interesting thing here is that we are still failing to track it properly. There's limited content, and realistically, we're not sure of the return of investment on these kind of things. And there's a lack of high quality experiences. It still feels experimental, kind of things that have the real wow factor that we expected technology to move us into, have huge production budgets and are more akin to now game development. So if you could actually get, it's not something that a lot of people are choosing to actually do. And because of the uncertain returns, when budgets are tight and sectors are constantly moving at the moment, social media, email marketing, AI-driven personalization feels like a safer bet, right? We also have user adoption and comfort levels. There's consumer hesitance massively. Not everybody is ready to spend expensive time in head-based VR. And there's a huge learning curve. So even if hardware becomes user-friendly, there's still an education curve for consumers and employees alike, from navigating immersive interfaces to troubleshooting connectivity issues. There's also no single platform standard. So from a marketing point of view, unlike web or mobile ecosystems, these experiences differ dramatically depending on hardware, software, and content platforms. So no longer are we just trying to create things that are for different social media platforms that we can tweak. It's like rebuilding and starting again within these kind of spaces. And that fragmentation makes it harder for marketers to build experience that reach large, diverse audiences. There's integration challenges, so it doesn't go into that omni-channel kind of process that we're moving forward to. And also data sensitivity, and there's huge consumer skepticism about how data is collected within these kind of processes still. So realistically, this has not moved forward as expected. With the rise of AI and AI generative kind of processes, this was one of the ways that people were trying to differentiate themselves really a lot at the end of last year. But there's been a lot of drop-offs of AI and VI kind of projects this year, with a more focus on that AI personalization, because we can take what we already have and update it, create a better version of, and make it more useful, rather than spending a lot of money on something we're unable to track, people aren't sure of using yet. So this may get pushed a couple of years. Yeah. So it's been interesting to watch this become less and less favorable and go down the tables in the way that marketing technology is moving forward this year. So what is your focus now? You may have to go away and have a cup of tea and think about it after we've kind of spoken through this today. But after discussing all the innovative trends reshaping kind of marketing, it's actually crucial to zoom in on how your organization can decide what actually matters for your bottom line. I say this a lot within kind of all the talks that I do, but if your MarTech, your marketing doesn't align with your organizational goals, then there's no point in putting the energy and the resources into it in the first place. So you need to make sure you're aligning with your core marketing goals, because every year new MarTech tools, trendy tactics advance. Yeah. And they need to kind of loop back in with truly why you are doing this in the first place. Outline your marketing KPIs, link them to specific trends that can support that, and then integrate those as your overall kind of MarTech strategy. A lot of this also needs resources and resource readiness. So just jumping into something new, emerging, cutting edge MarTech, for example, can strain budgets. And also we need to really, from this year onwards, really assess organizational culture and skill gaps moving forward. So it's been interesting, hasn't it? Going through what we kind of thought was the kind of core focus for the end of last year to more about what is kind of what we need to do now. And I don't think the 3 trends that have made it through into kind of March are going to go away. So I do think those are a key focus for any organization moving forward. So I think I can pass over to Dave to talk about some of the courses.
Thank you, Robin. That was really, really interesting. If there are any questions around that, please do type those into the chat area or the Q&A section as well. But yeah, just as Robin said, please do, if you're interested in this area and you would like to do sort of more of the courses that we offer, or would like to get accreditation in this, we do offer accredited awards from the CIM, and these are a list of some of the accredited awards that we do offer. I'll pop in our contact email address into the chat area here as well. So if you do want to email us, then we can certainly help and advise you. So with the CIM accredited award in AI, we offer 1-day training courses, either face-to-face or virtually. We also have distance learning courses as well. If you want to discuss it in any more sort of detail, be very happy to sort of book in a one-to-one call as well. I'll pop in a link there. Just to, if you did want to book in a one-to-one call with anyone, just to discuss the course content, costing, or anything like that as well. But I think, that was predominantly it. I mean, is there any questions at all for Robin? I thought of a few just from ourselves, myself. I mean, in terms of some of the data that we collect, in relation to like legacy data or historic data that we've collected, can you use AI like as certain CRM systems integrated with AI, where you can sort of retrospectively sort of put people on a sort of journey, like if they've sort of inquired or like had touch base with you sort of previously? Is there a way to sort of re-engage with those prospects?
Absolutely. And as long as you have consent to use their data, because that's the biggest problem. As long as you can verify that they have said yes to marketing and things like that, or whatever your terms and conditions are, of course, resegment those lists, put them back in, discover what is actually different between those people, and then use AI personalization for your emails or your social media campaigns to truly connect with them in a unique way that they've probably not been connected with you before, right? So it's as consumers, we want things to be easy. We want to understand why we're being spoken to and what we need to do next. So we need to start facilitating that better for the people who connect with us, really.
And with things like VR headsets, do you think that is something that is sort of going to be put on the back burner for a longer time? Is it just waiting for cheaper technology to come through?
We've had a lot of tech fail, like Google Glass and easy wearable tech. A lot of the AI wearable kind of stuff, like from Humana and things, it's just not done what we expected it to do. And it's a little unfeasible to be in these spaces where, like, for example, I would like in a break time, I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to go in my VR world for like 20 minutes. And like, I'm not going to stop, put my VR headset on for 20 minutes and then take it off. It's just not become part of our natural acceptance of experiences yet. And it also hasn't taken off in the way that it was expected to within the gaming world either. So it's just slower. There's no doubt in my mind that if we could have an easy wearable part of my glasses, or my glasses from Specsavers, I can integrate a little screen into in the future, which we're not far from, I would definitely be much more up for VR and AR kind of experiences. But it's just not facilitated in the way that we thought it would, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
Which is a shame. because there's been some beautiful creations within like the meta world, and Snapchat's really wonderful at creating kind of AR kind of experiences. But sadly, the technology, the physical technology we need to facilitate that hasn't caught up. It hasn't stayed on the path it was supposed to, the trajectory it should have. So we'll see. It's just a shame because like 2 months in already, like big projects are being dropped left, right, and center because AI personalization is quicker, easier, and more resourceful. So
Yeah,
I get
it. Perfect. Well, yeah, thank you, Robin. And this is just to scan and join the MarTech Club. Is that right? The QR code? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a free Slack channel. All the slides go in there, and I pop all kind of updated regulations, information about different kind of marketing technology that's going on, and you can ask other people in there questions as well. There's quite a few people in there now.
Fantastic. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Robin. Is there anything else you'd like to cover at all? As I said, yeah, please do contact us if there's any further information you'd like about the courses. We'd be more than happy to help. Is there anything else you'd like to cover at all, Robin?
No, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to the next one in 2 weeks.
Perfect. Thank you so much again, Robin. Have a great day.
Have a good day. See you soon.
Cheers. Bye-bye.